Hey everybody, it's Erica over at The Broken Spine. Welcome back to my channel, and if this is your first time here, thank you so much for stopping by. And as always, if you enjoy the content here, make sure you click subscribe and don't forget to hit the bell to be notified of new content. And please give this a thumbs up if you enjoyed the video. When I was growing up, I absolutely disliked dolls. And this sounds, and not sounds, it is kind of morbid. Whenever I got my sisters hand-me-down Barbie dolls, and my parents, my mom would buy me other dolls, but I used to snap the heads off of the dolls and just throw them in a shoebox. So I would have a bunch of headless Ken and Barbie dolls and, Baby Alive and all of that. I did not like dolls. Give me cars and trucks and, other like Tonka toys and things like that, and I was a happy camper. But give me a doll, and yeah, my mom, she would put the heads back on the dolls, and then I'd pop them back off again. I don't know. I wonder if they still make them like that, where you can just like take off the heads and the limbs. I don't know, but I mean, I don't care either because I don't like them. But anyway, so that's the toy or the toys that I disliked the most. And yeah, I'm thinking about that. That's kind of weird, but oh well. Today's video is the top 10 books that I enjoyed over the past 12 months. So I don't rate books as far as star ratings are concerned. So all of these books, if I had to give you a star rating, they would probably be either a 4 or a 5 for me. But since I don't do star ratings, they're just my favorites, how I feel about them. And yeah, so let's get right into it. So the first one is Benti by Nnedi Okorafor. This is the complete trilogy. It also contains a new story. What's the story? I forgot what the story is. It's Sacred Fire. Moving on. This I read. I mean, I don't know too many people that haven't read this yet, but Children of Blood and Bone by Tomi Adeyemi was one of my favorites of last year, and and her new one is coming out in December. It was supposed to come out in March, and then they pushed it back to June, and now they pushed it back to December. So I can't wait to get my hands on that. It's Children of Virtue, of Vengeance, and of Virtue and Vengeance. And I'm excited to get into that one. And I annotate, so there you have that. So hopefully I will be annotating that one as well. Here's some of my, if you can see that, some of my annotation pages. But yeah, that's another one that's on my list. And the next one is The Poppy War, and I really need to find out how to pronounce her name. R.F. Kuang, that's what I've been saying. I already have the Dragon Republic. I got that as an ARC, and I also pre-ordered the second in the trilogy. So again, I'm a heavy annotator, so there you have that. And so this one I'm including as one, but Persepolis by Marjane Satrapi. I think that's how you pronounce her last name. But Persepolis 1 and 2. This is, if you don't know, this is a graphic novel, and it is nonfiction. It's the story, well, the first one is the story of childhood, and the story of a return. So I really enjoyed this, and she has like a quirky sense of humor, and this takes place during the the Iranian Revolution, and she is sent to school, to go to school somewhere else during the revolution, and then she comes back in the second one. But anyway, so it's just a story. It's her story. So my next one is Pride by Ibi Zoboi, and this is a Pride and Prejudice retelling. I like Jane Austen, but I'm not like an uber fan of Jane Austen. So when this came out, I was just like, eh. And then some of my blogger buddies, they were reading it and decided to do a buddy read, and I decided to join in because, you know, peer pressure always works to get you to do something, right? So I got this book, and I was just like, I loved the end pages, and I was just like, you know, I'm gonna have to get this book. So just for that, I really enjoyed it, and so it kind of made me want to go back and read Pride and Prejudice. Kind of. I didn't, but so maybe one day I will go back and read it. I make no promises on that, but we shall see. So that's one. I don't know, what number are we on? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So the 6th one, actually I just read this, An Unkindness of Ghosts. I checked out from the library, and I got this for Pride Month, because I was looking for something different to read, and I stumbled across this at the library, and I think I mentioned this in another video. River Solomon is transgender, and our main character, Aster, she is, I'm not exactly sure whether Aster is, I get the feeling that Aster is the LGBTQIA plus representation in here. But there is also another character, and his name escapes me at the moment. He is the doctor, Theo. Theo is his name. And they actually make fun of him because he has effeminate tendencies, and I think they do actually call him queer in here. But I decided to buy this book because there's so much that goes on in here, and I just wanted to get it, and I wanted to annotate it, and I actually started reading and doing that with this book. But I haven't gotten very far because there are other books that I need to get to as well. But before I do a comprehensive review of this, I wanted to go back and read it and just drill down into this, because River Solomon puts so much into this. And then I saw that they were coming out with another book called The Deep, and I had to get it. It's not out yet, but I got approved. Simon & Schuster approved me for an e-arc through NetGalley, so I was super, super excited about that. And I plan on, I'm more than likely gonna buy it anyway. I think it's only 100. It's less than 200 pages, so it's definitely going to be a quick read. But it's based off of a song called The Deep. I'll link the artist in the description box. but I cannot remember the name of the artist. Oh my gosh, getting old sucks, y'all. So anyway, my next one is like an all-time favorite of mine. It is Jane Eyre by Charlotte Bronte. The next one is Octavia Butler's Kindred. Octavia Butler, I've always heard good things about her, and one day I was at the bookstore and I saw Kindred, and it was, I think it was buy two get one, and I just was like, okay, I'm sold. And there were other things on the table that I saw that I liked and just picked it up. So I read this, and I also have the graphic novel of this as well somewhere. But this, ladies and gents, I promise you, if you read this, it's going to take you, and there are so many gut punches in here, and it is intense. So basically, if you don't know anything about this, and I'll just give you a really quick summary. Dana, who is our main character, she travels from present day 1970 something back in time to Antebellum, Maryland. And she's married to a white guy, and they're both writers. So she travels back in time. She's pulled back in time, actually, to Antebellum, Maryland. And there she is basically charged with saving an ancestor. And it's a slave master. So in it, she experiences slavery and all of its tragic, horrible horrificness. And it's hard. It's a hard read. It's an emotional read, but it is so very well written. And since I read that, I've gotten what is it, The Parable of Talents and The Parable of Sower. So I've started to accumulate Octavia Butler's works, which I am hoping to get to soon. So yeah, it's definitely, it ranks up there, and definitely if I had to give it a star rating, it would probably be a 5. So it was brutal, but it was great. And the graphic novel, I'm going to show you that. This is the graphic novel. This is actually an arc of it, but I read the finished copy. So this is still in black and white, but here you can see that some of the graphics, that's not even like really the hard part. Here's one. This is one where Dana is being whipped, and it's seeing it in black and white is not as troublesome as seeing it in color. So I do, if you have an opportunity to read Kindred, do so. It's fantastic. My next one is Blake Crouch's Dark Matter. This was my first foray into Blake Crouch, and I absolutely loved it. Okay, so I don't like romance at all. I don't like love stories, and I don't like love stories and or romance in my books. So yeah, why do I like Jane Eyre? Because I'm crazy. I don't know. But I am like a contradiction in so many ways. But I loved this, and this is just it. Jason he's married, he has a son, and he's been abducted, and he's trying to find his way back. And they're like, it's not really time travel. They're going between, well, yeah, and no, not really. They're going between universes, and he's trying to get back to his universe and to his family, and he keeps jumping to a different universe, and his wife is not his wife, his son isn't around, or his son is not his son. So it's just, it's really, I really enjoyed it, and I loved the short staccato sentences that he wrote in. And it's a super, super quick read. And I read Recursion, and I had the same expectation for Recursion and I was hoping so much to enjoy it, and I did and I didn't, mostly didn't. I think by the end of part 1, maybe, that I was not into it. One of the first books that I read this year was We by Yevgeny Zamyatin. He was a Russian writer, and this was not published in Russia until I think well after his death. So, and it's a science fiction. So again, my annotations, and I don't know, for such a little book, he has packed so much into this, and I absolutely, this is, again, if I had to rate, if I had to give this a star rating, this would definitely be a 5-star. I probably read this in maybe a day and a half. If you could find it, this is one that I definitely recommend that you pick up. But that's it, guys. I thank you so much for stopping by. And if you liked the video, and I hope you did, make sure you click subscribe, hit the bell to be notified of new videos, and yeah, give it a thumbs up if you liked it. So I will see you guys later.